These are Woody Guthrie's words. He wrote this song in around 1950. Fred Trump was Woody's landlord, and U.S. Elevator put some music to it. It's called Old Man Trump.
I suppose old man Trump knows just how much racial hate he's stirred in the blood pot of all those human hearts when he drawed that color line down here at his Beach Haven family project. Beach Haven ain't my home, I just can't pay this rent. My money's down the drain and my soul is badly bent. Beach Haven is Trump Tower where no black folk to go. I said no, no, man Trump, Beach Haven ain't my home. I'm yelling out a welcome to you and your man both, welcoming you to live here at Beach Haven, to love in any way you please and have some kind of decent place to raise your kids up in. Beach Haven ain't my home, I just can't pay this rent. My money's down the drain and my soul is badly bent. Beach Haven ain't my home, I just can't pay this rent. My money's down the drain and my soul is badly bent. Beach Haven is Trump Tower where no black folk could go. I said no, no, man Trump, Beach Haven ain't my home. Oh no, no, man Trump, Beach Haven ain't my home. Take it away, Brian. I suppose old man Trump knows just how much racial hate he stirred in the blood pot of all those human hearts when he drawed that color line down here at his Beach Haven family project. Beach Haven ain't my home, I just can't pay this rent. My money's down the drain and my soul is badly bent. Beach Haven ain't my home, I just can't pay this rent. My money's down the drain and my soul is badly bent. Beach Haven is Trump Tower where no black folk will go. I said no, no, man Trump, Beach Haven ain't my home. No, no, man Trump, Beach Haven ain't my home. No, no, man Trump, Beach Haven ain't my home.
Go.
Come on and take a walk with me through this green and growing land. Walk through the meadows and the mountains and the sand. Walk through the valleys and the rivers and the plains. Walk through the sun and walk through the rain. Here's a land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. For her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Glory shall rest on us all. From Colorado, Kansas, and the Carolinas too, Virginia and Alaska, from the old to the new, Texas and Ohio and the California shore. Tell me who could ask for more? Here is a land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. For her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Glory shall rest on us all. Yet she's only as rich as the poorest of the poor, only as free as a padlocked prison door, only as strong as our love for this land, only as tall as we stand. For here is a land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. For her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Glory shall rest on us all. Come on and take a walk with me through this green and growing land. Walk through the meadows and the mountains and the sand. Walk through the valleys and the rivers and the plains. Walk through the sun and walk through the rain. Here is a land full of power and glory, beauty that words cannot recall. For her power shall rest on the strength of her freedom. Glory shall rest on us all, on us all.
Swishy streams, all that content is bursting the seams. Politics, daily, plenty more. Her sense of fashion, you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Viva Bojack, 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 Viva Bojack. That's what I'm talking about. First time singing the songs for Riverboat Jack. Shout out. I don't know what I'm doing really, but I got passion. That's what it's about. It's all about passion. Swishy streams, all that content is bursting the seams. Politics, daily, plenty more. Her sense of fashion, you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Viva Bojack, 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 Viva Bojack.
Put a verb.
Uh,
Hello! I'm really bad at this, I guess. Hello, how we doing, folks? Hello. God, my camera is just so dog shit. The color grading on this. Why? Hey, admin. Yeah. Not so blooper. Hello. Sorry, not so booper. How we doing, folks? 1 second here. I'm checking one last thing. Looking pretty as usual. Doing my best. Doing my best with what I got. Hello, Ransom Ballard. Hello, Knifey Duck. Hello, everyone. Mods in YouTube chat, make sure you have your live chat on instead of your top chat. 3 in a row on time. Vernal, I'm an hour late. Soon we'll iron out the details. Still doing moving stuff. Moving's hard, and I don't like it. Oh, I meant me? Aha! I see. Hello, everyone. How we all doing? Just trying to confirm one last thing before I throw it into a segment. Please forgive me. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Hello! This show has a start time. I always just thought sometime late night. It is supposed to start at 8 p.m. Much to my chagrin, I've been very busy just with life stuff to get it to start at a consistent time. And that's my bad. Hello, Kiva Duffer. Induffer. The Profane Priestess. Hello, Webmage 101. Hello, Jaden Puppy. Well, I hope that you are okay. Here's hoping Peter Thiel turns into a chaos spawn. Indeed, killer. Indeed. Malachi, hello. Hello, Ashley J. Curtis. Thank you for helping to invent the internet. Xantera. Moving is hard. I moved nearly a month ago. I still have more than half the boxes to go. Yeah. Yeah. Trump is back. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Can you cure my flu, please? No, I can't. I'm sorry. That requires at least a tier 4 subscription for me to even attempt. Will you be going over the PV drama? I'm unaware of the PV drama. What is the PV drama? Last time I yeah, well, I know, I realize you're talking about Progressive Victory, but I don't know what drama you're talking about. Last time I talked with anyone from Progressive Victory, was maybe 6 months ago. And that's the last, it was a relatively non-eventful conversation. Um, let's see. Is it useless leftist infighting? I don't know, because I don't know what the drama is. What is the drama? Ba-ba. I have the flu right now? Damn, Knifeiest Duck, I'm sorry. Is it the Taylor Lorenz shit? I have no idea. Everyone's always angry about something. Oh. What? Was this? Oh, just let me look at it. God damn it. I just want to like see the thing without opening a bajillion different windows. Fuck. But like what okay, but what is the drama? This is a link to like an emergency state of the union for progressive victory. I don't know what it is. Like there are 3 different videos here and I don't want to watch them right now unless somebody tells me what they're about. Like just tell progressive victory leaked people's home addresses. Well, that sucks. Via what? Bad empanada? Okay, yeah, okay. Bad empanada is a fucking nutcase. He's not above doxing people though. 100 stream streak, Erica. Damn, you're good. This is specifically, they've been accused of funding Zionists. Well, I can tell you that, like, I got paid by Progressive Victory, and I'm not a Zionist, so I don't know. Maybe that's a new initiative that I'm unaware of, but I highly doubt it. Oh, Dylan Burns got doxxed? Yeah, I'm not watching any of these videos. Just to be clear, I'm probably not going to cover this because this is a little bit more fringe than I care to cover. Because I don't know. I want to talk about some of the things that are going on the national level. Like, and it's not because I'm opposed to talking about progressive victory. I thought this was about Destiny. No, it's about a group called Progressive Victory that Bad Empanada in this video frames as Destiny's pack. And it's not Destiny's pack. It's just a pack that has worked with Destiny. Let's see. Ro Khanna will become a trans ally again in 2 weeks. Yeah, we'll see. I am not going to hold my breath for Ro Khanna to do anything. No, Destiny did a bad recently too. Yeah, because it's another hour of the day. Like, it's literally every hour that man shits himself and screams at other people about it. Like, that's his entire thing. Like, I don't care to make this channel like a, I don't know, the man on the internet shits himself and screams at people, because that happens all the time. So what exactly are the allegations? Is it that like Progressive Victory is specifically a Zionist pack that is like curbing conversations away from the left? Like what, or curbing accusations away from like Israel? I don't know. Like what is it? What is it? Be like, give me a specific encapsulation of the drama, chat. Like I feel like I'm not asking for a lot. Like, I don't know. I have to talk about, like, the dehumanization of people like me, and why am I spending time talking about this? Like, tell me what the story is. You sound frustrated. I am frustrated. Bad empanada called Dead Domain a Zionist. I think he should get his speedometer checked. Well, yeah, that's because not Dead Empanada, Bad Empanada is a fucking lunatic. Just got here. How can I help? I'm unsure because I'm still waiting to know what the drama is. The drama, as far as I can tell, the drama is a lunatic got a hold of a bunch of addresses that were obtained from Progressive Victory somehow and then posted them publicly. Oh, you thought the Progressive Victory thing was going to be about Destiny? Honestly, it might be. I don't know. Their FEC filing got leaked. Yeah, that's pretty shitty. But I guess I'll wait until I know more about it. Like, again, as far as I know, I never had anyone tell me that I couldn't talk about, like, working with Progressive Victory. I disclosed that I was paid by them, and, like, we were all copacetic. And so it just seems to me like I'm not worried about it. I guess the worrying thing about it would be like the leaked addresses. That's worrying. But that's something that, like, streamers, we got to deal with that all the time. And that's bullshit. It's part of the job, sadly. Marjorie Taylor Greene abandoned Trump? Doubt it. Oh, okay. So we no one's really sure what the hell is happening. Cool. I mean, that helps. I think that really one of the issues that a lot of people are running into when it comes to Progressive Victory is the perception that it was Destiny's pack, and like it just wasn't. Destiny was just the largest streamer who was willing to work with Progressive Victory, but a bunch of other streamers did. And I think that's totally fine, actually. Are we going to watch the Dolls show, or did I miss it? We're going to do it later, if I have the spoons, because, I don't know, life gets worse every day. Let's see. Yeah, other streamers did too, admin, but, like, it makes sense that a bunch of people had the perception that of that. Yeah, but, like, Lime's Floofy Otaku, that's not Marjorie Taylor Greene abandoning Trump. She's gonna be back on Trump's side, like, tomorrow. It's not a thing. Thoughts on Pac-Man not knowing whether it's called APAC or EPAC? I think that's fucking weird. Like, dude pays so much attention to domestic politics. Not knowing what that's called is bizarre. Hello, Twin Tails. All right. Anyway. Jesus. Oh, okay. Well, I just saw a new thing come up to add to our to-do list today. Fuck us, I guess. Cool. There are numerous clips of Pac-Man pronouncing it correctly. Well, then I assume that he knows what it's about and that he got clipped out of context. Let's see here. Now what? On a happier note, did anyone play Silk Song today? Oh my god, Silk Song is out. Hell yeah! Okay. Oh yeah, no, Archangel Admin is correct. There are a lot of Destiny fans in Progressive Victory. But again, if they're willing to knock on doors for a progressive candidate, I'll take as many able hands as possible to knock on those doors or do phone banking. Also, I'm going to go use the bathroom.
Chat, can you not be so chat for like 5 minutes?
I'm gonna
Asking for a friend.
Gonna use the bathroom. When I get back, we're gonna do a hard reset of the vibes on this stream, and then we're going to forge on ahead with covering the bullshit of the day. And with that, I will BRB, and we'll just reset things after I use the bathroom. BRB.
I wrote with my friend Mike Richardson, who's from southern West Virginia, and it's about the coal mining wars in West Virginia in the 1920s, called the Battle of Blair Mountain. 2, 3, 4. Drain the black gold. Open to God that the timbers hold. Like my father before me, it's all I know. We live only to harvest the coal. Harvest the coal. About as shallow as a grave. We're living in shanty towns. We ain't got no say. 14-hour shifts, such a meager wage. And Mother Jones can't help us now anyway. Anyway, we take the roads, we take the trains by force. Oh, deliver us alone from the gathering stores. Lay down your Bibles, take up your guns. Blair mountain, here we come. red bandanas that tell us what side you're on. Yeah, we're the rednecks of the Union in 1921. We'll leave tonight at 13,000 strong and take the fight to Blair Mountain before the dawn, before the dawn. We'll take the roads, we'll take the trains by force. Oh, deliver us love from the gathering stores. Lay down your Bibles, take up your guns, Blair Mountain. Here we come, oh, here we come. Oh, I fight for my father, still buried in the mine. I fight for my son, so he'll have a better life. We're soldiers of a great war, and it don't seem right to treat a man like a dog just to make a dime, just to make a dime. We'll take the roads, we'll take the trains by force. Oh, deliver us love from the gathering stores. Lay down your Bibles, take up your guns, Blair Mountain. Here we come, oh, here we come. Here we come. So find a vein, drain the black gold. You better hope to God that those timbers hold.
Yeah, wonderful. Wonderful.
I'm not a coal miner, as you well know, but I'm as close as I could be not to be one. My father was a coal miner who was killed in the mines, and my husband is slowly dying with black lung. And my husband and me was in the strike in the 30s in bloody Harlan County, and I do mean it is bloody too. And they tell me, these miners say, we're gonna stick it out unless Duke Power signs the contract till hell freezes over. And the men knows they've got nothing to lose but their chains and their union to gain. So I say, hang in there. And now this song I composed in the 30s. And as you know, I'm old, as 40 years ago, and I can't sing very well. But you can ask the scabs and the gun thugs which side they're on, because they're workers too. Come all you poor workers, good news to you I'll tell. How the good old Union has come in here to dwell. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? If you go to Harlan County, there is no neutral there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair. Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell of how the good old Union has come in here to dwell. Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? My daddy was a miner, and I LA County, there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a union man or a scab for the boss, beware. Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Oh, workers, can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be a man? Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Don't scare for the bosses. Don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize. Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on? Oh, 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 which side are you on?
Cool. Hello! Where do you get the music from? That was from Seth Staten Watkins. And usually after the stream ends, the content ID claims it and splits revenue, such as it is from the YouTube stream. But also, I have an unlisted playlist of all the songs that I play, and here is the link. There you go. Hello, everyone. How we doing? How we doing, folks? Hello, B. Parker. Hello, Nochnesera. Hello, Rachel P. Hello, Andromaki. Or Andromaki, there we go. Hello, Tired and Trans. The horrors persist, and I am tired. I am as well. Hello, Forlorn79. Hello, Quiet Kitsune. Hello, the All-Seeing Dude. Hello, Lemony fucking Snicket. You don't get the Dono Go song. Have there been donos? Have there been donos that I missed? The answer to that is no. As far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong. Knifey Duck donated $5 before I left to use the bathroom. Tell my other friend Jack to not run for Nadler's seat. I don't know. I think his seat could be run for. Revolution when? When enough people are fed up with this shit. So keep being fed up with this shit. Hello, Story the Bard. Hello, Sweet Myths Music. Hello. How we doing, Eddie666? Hello, Jason Kelly. Hello, Mabs Alicorn. Say hi to my cat. Hello, Mabs Alicorn's cat. Hello, Empress Eris. Feeling really crappy. Had to get exposed to the bad news. Waiting with shit internet. Line at the food bank. Just had to stew in it with all my thoughts. That is one of the worst feelings. Hello, Punky Gal. There's not going to be a revolution with Trump somehow still over 40% approval. Yeah. Hi, Shy Wolf. Live chat, not top chat. Indeed. All right. So let's talk about it. Let's do the things. Let's start the show. First of all, folks, today sucks. Today really sucks. It hasn't been a fun time sourcing the news. So we're going to start off with something good and something that you can focus some of your attention and energy on, okay? Just real quick. It's not like a segment or anything, but folks, No King's Day. A new No King's Day has been planned for October 18th. Mark it on your calendars, October 18th. That is the next No King's Day. There is a sign-up page where folks can go. It was recently launched by Indivisible. That is our next day of mass mobilization. Just going to throw that link in all the chats here. But it's, I think good. There have been too few mass mobilizations. Salmon Moose, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. Very much appreciated. Hell yeah. A new one, learn to market leftists. We can't have 2 No King's Days in 1 year. Well, the reason they're calling it another No King's Day is largely because the first one was incredibly successful. And so, hey, it's time to do the sequel. Because guess what? They've tried to do other mass mobilizations, and a lot of you fine folks didn't show up. Or at least a lot of fine folks elsewhere didn't show up. So, there you go. Yeah, but call it a tea party or something? I think you can have multiple parties about not having kings. My DSA chapter is an anti-Trump, anti-fascist working group now? Fuck yeah. No King's Day 2, Electric Boogaloo? Exactly, you got it. How am I meant to show up if I'm Canadian? I have no idea how to answer that question. Yeah, I think that's kind of the thought process, Travis T. There have been a number of other mass mobilization days, some larger than others, but No Kings has been by far the biggest. The site needs more info? Yeah, I mean, the site is pretty bare bones, but having seen Indivisible's work in the past, like, it's legit. I don't know if this is interesting. If you are, you know, someone who wants to fight against the incursion of fascists in our country, this is the way to do it. Apologize for being an asshole during the last stream. That's all right. That's all anyone can do. Try and be better. In America, every day should be No King's Day. Indeed, Steve Dorries, I agree. Yeah, I guess if you're in like Canada and or England or Australia and you want to support No King's Day, it's time to finally deal with that monarchy problem. Let's see. Just thought it might be nice for you guys to hear about that. Now, folks, we gotta talk about Donald Trump trying to seize the Federal Reserve. So I guess brace yourselves for that one. So, folks, Donald Trump, he's long desired to be able to boss and bully around the Federal Reserve of the United States. You know, the thing that makes sure, you know, inflation doesn't get too high or too low, and that thing that protects the value of American currency, or at least is a component of protecting the value of American currency. And basically, we've been saved up to this point by the fact that the Federal Reserve understands the importance of maintaining its independence, and so has resisted any efforts by the Trump administration to get it to do different things that would be in the best interest of, Donald Trump and his rich friends, and not so much in the interest of most people in the United States. And the issue here is that, well, Donald Trump has continued to try and find ways to exert pressure. Earlier in the year, he tried to float the idea of sacking Jerome Powell, the current head of the Federal Reserve, and the markets reacted pretty apocalyptically to that in order to dissuade Donald Trump from finding that to be a good idea, and he backed off of it. Okay? It's not to say he's on good terms with Jerome Powell by any means, but, well, now we've gotten to the point where he is having his goons concoct fraud claims against different members of the Federal Reserve's leadership. He even tried to fire a member of the Federal Reserve's, board, and that is currently being fought in court. But additionally, yeah, let's just take a look here. Yeah, here we go. Basically, Donald Trump is trying to fill a vacancy on the Federal Reserve Governor's Board. And his top pick is currently the top White House economic advisor. And he's saying he is going to simultaneously serve on the Federal Reserve Board and also keep his job at the White House. Which is maybe one of the most illegal things I've ever heard in my life. Like, yeah, he's quite clearly going to be taking orders from the White House and compromising the Federal Reserve's independence, right? Like, the goal and, like, the path forward, if this is allowed to stand for the Trump White House, is to systematically kick out members of the Federal Reserve Board and essentially buy seats on the board. That sounds illegal. It should be illegal. Likely the courts are going to find it illegal, but in the meantime, they're going to let the president do the illegal thing, I'm sure. Who are we to deny billionaires their dreams of swimming in a pool of pure liquid gold and the blood, sweat, and tears of the poor? Indeed. I mean, it's just... It's all farcical. It's all so farcical at this point. And I just need to... I need y'all to understand, like, this is a power grab. This is an effort to consolidate control, not just over, like, the American economy, but, like, global economic affairs. Right? We already have a president that has been given rein to, like, unilaterally tax the American people for no reason other than to flatter his own ego, and in the form of tariffs. And now we are going to give him the ability to control, like, the interest rates via the Federal Reserve. This all seems like a... this is going to end extraordinarily poorly on a global scale. You know, this is going to be one of those things where it's like, you know, our great grandkids open up a history book and they're like, boy, how did they let that happen? Didn't they know it was stupid beyond all measure? And, like, yeah, we do know that. We do. Sadly, the dumbest idiots alive are currently controlling the United States government. God damn it. Surely even SCOTUS has to realize the collapse of the US dollar would be bad. It would fuck over their billionaire taskmasters too. I mean, one would think that might be enough, but you have to understand that conservatives have been living in the propaganda juice for, like, the last I don't know, 50 years. And so a lot of conservatives just view the Federal Reserve as the literal devil. Like they just view it as demonic to have that centralized control. And so obviously they have to give centralized control over it instead of to, economic experts. You have to hand that over to the president. Because surely the Donald would never screw us over. When has the Donald ever screwed anyone over? It's never happened. Pause, freeze frame, scrolling list of every single time that's happened. All the millions of times Donald Trump has done that over his lifetime.
Does this count as fepositing?
I don't know what fepo-sitting is. But Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. But does it count as fed pose? Wait, fed positing? Yes. I'm just dumb and don't get your jokes sometimes. Sometimes it takes me a second. God. Unrelated to anything, I posted my hambagu steak recipe in the Discord. Hell yeah.
Fed posting.
Oh, fed posting. I think we should all stop fed posting and start Fred posting. And by that I mean Fred from the Flintstones. We should all be Fred posting every day to pay homage to our Lord and Savior, Fred. Thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs, though, Sake Tanuki. Typing and playing TFT at the same time is too hard. Oh, man, TFT is so fucking good. You're a master rank TFT player? I hate you, because you're better than me. Now, anyway, it's bad. It is bad to give this man control over something that can affect the global economy. Because almost certainly he intends to tank it all. What is being put forward here is basically just he's going to open the faucet on the money faucet, devalue our currency, and leave us all holding the check when he dies, of old age. God. Can I Fred Burger post? I can see now that I've unleashed a torrent of jokes that I'm not going to understand. That's okay. As an old, out of touch politics streamer, that's okay. I've made my peace with this. Or just as bad, it won't be intentionally. He's just too stupid not to do it. I mean, I kind of view them as inseparable outcomes, All right. It's all just really quite bad, and I don't know how to really encapsulate this to you guys. But imagine you're on board a big, ostentatiously decked out ship, and people are on this boat and they're calling it unsinkable. Nothing's gonna get us down, and they're laughing, they're having a great time, and you have the captain of the ship meanwhile steering, and suddenly one of the dipshits who's like drunk and like really upset that he can't get with a young lady who wants to instead make out and have sex in a old-timey car somewhere on the ship. An absolute rich foppish moron takes a gun and says to the captain, "You need to get out of the captain's chair. I'm the captain now." And then just starts spinning the wheel to the left and the right, and the ship is just going straight and it's veering back and forth. And then suddenly it hits an iceberg and everyone dies. Is Don Jr. the Billy Zane of this story? Yes. But as you can see, it's a legally distinct story that isn't Titanic. It just has the same end result as Titanic. What an analogy. Look. Sometimes your analogies are put together meticulously, like an unsinkable ship. Only to get out on the open ocean and everything goes completely fine. And no hitches in the giddy up whatsoever. Until one night an iceberg comes along. Look, okay, look. I think my joke was really good there, and I think everyone needs to appreciate it. God. Are you gonna draw me like one of your French bulldogs, James? It wasn't Titanic, it was the What If Alt Ist boat? Hey, I like that a lot. We build the analogies as we fly them here in these parts. Exactly! You guys understand me. Much like my boats.
Now imagine you survive that wreck, only to wake up on an island whose only source of food is the nearby coconut trees.
Oh, fuck.
I'm amazed no version of Titanic was ever sunk by iceberg lettuce.
That's gonna be the new rule 34. Oh god, you know, sometimes people in the comments say that, like, try and ding me for you guys being funnier than me, and like, I'm not gonna lie, you guys are funnier than me. I fully own that, and I have no shame in that, because I feel like I'm a fairly funny person, and you guys are also funny, and the world can have multiple funny people in it, and we'll continue spinning. Apparently there's an abundance conference where the pro-abundance moves are deporting more immigrants and add more tariffs. I gotta tell you guys, the current politics of this country are grim. Grim as hell. Tea Leaf, thank you for the gifted membership. Also, Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. Knifius Doug, thank you for the $5 dono. Titanic X Iceberg, let's talk about a problematic ship. Hey! Let's go. Jack, please do not encourage me. I'm not funny. I'm just really dumb and people think I'm trying to be silly. Yeah, but own that. Own that, Lightning McQueen 420. Just own it. You are being funny, and it's okay to get your funnies where you may. I'm pretty sure that's a Shakespeare quote right there. Is ContraPoints actually a Zionist? I have no idea, but something would tell me no. Just from what I know of her politics. Yo, the Queen Matriarch, thank you for the $5 super chat, and congrats on the new house. That's a big deal. Let's go!
Can a bun dance? No, but a tin can.
Sake Tanuki, it's times like these that I feel real sad I don't have my soundboard to give you a ba-dum-ts. Alright, let's talk about our next story of the day. Also, remember folks, show up to No King's Day on October 18th. Do it. Alright, yeah, we'll talk about this. Fuck. Every day. All right. Fine. So, folks, today kind of sucks. Not gonna lie. There is some reporting now.
Abundance. What if we didn't neoliberalism hard enough?
Two true, Saki Thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. Also, we're gonna restart that one a little bit. So, folks, sadly, we live in Hell World, and this is going to be a bit of a rough segment. But reporting broke today, courtesy of Mary Margaret Olahan, that the Justice Department is looking at ways to strip transgender Americans of their right to firearms. And this is a multi-layered problem, because in order to strip trans people in America of their Second Amendment rights, the Department of Justice would have to essentially have a change made to what constitutes being mentally ill to the point of being incompetent enough to be denied a firearm. And if they do this, basically it is going to affect every facet of trans life in the United States. It could be having this designation put on trans people could effectively bar trans people from many types of employment. Basically, the argument being gender dysphoria is a mental illness, and therefore anyone with the diagnosis of, gender dysphoria should be barred from owning a firearm. And this is a pretty big deal. In part, I know there are going to be some people out there who are like, oh, well, I don't need a gun, so there. And that's fine if you don't need a gun. But understand that this is an attack on your fundamental, constitutional rights. This is a method of dehumanization. It's a way to turn you into someone whose rights can be violated at will with no legal recourse. That is what this is effectively. On the surface, it is just about the guns, but if you dig deeper, this has a very wide range of effects that can affect everything from the assistance you get to your health care to, everything along those lines. And Mary Margaret Olahan says, I'm told that a senior DOJ official said, discussing the matter, quote, "We're not playing semantics with words like dysphoria. We're talking about trannies, and we don't think they should have guns," unquote. So people at the highest levels of power within the Department of Justice are using slurs for trans people while talking about whether or not we deserve rights. Yeah, I mean, there's an aspect of that too, tired and trans. Reads as a way to disarm us and make it so we can't at all protect ourselves. Yes. Right? That is another way that this is in effect, right? What is maybe one of the more heinous parts about this is that they are using the Minneapolis shooting as a pretext to do this, despite the fact that if you dig into the shooter's writings, the shooter had previously planned to shoot a trans music venue in Minneapolis, but ultimately decided against it because of the prevalence of armed trans people at an event like that. And so, they're talking about this. I want to underscore that there is no reality to what they are putting forward. even if we were to draw up the numbers, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to like engage that much with their fantasy, but understand that it is a fantasy. Conservatives are fantasizing that like trans people are doing mass shootings because it's way easier for them to deal with than the truth, which is that the overwhelming majority, 99.9% of mass shootings are done by white cis men with a chip on their shoulder. You know, like, they don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with the fact that, like, the prevalence of guns in this country keeps making mass shootings easier and easier for our lone individuals to do. You know? And so, aside from that, like, okay, say that this is, in fact, passed. How are you going to enforce this? Are you going to have, like, gun store owners, like, doing genital inspections before doing a sale? Are you gonna be like publicizing private like health information to like every gun dealer in the United States? Like how exactly is this going to work? In a way, it's almost completely unenforceable. But it's also, again, an attempt to signal that they want to make us subhuman. And again, I don't know if this is actually going to get any traction or not. I just... With this administration, it can go either way. You know? It can go either way when it comes to what the Trump administration is going to do. Is it just chest beating? Like what exactly is it? Who can say? It's just so frustrating. Like, as a trans person who covers the news, who gets up day after day, every single day I wake up and I wade through shit where people are basically arguing that I'm less of a person, and people like me are less of a person. And it's so frustrating. And to see the Democratic Party go along with even some of this is, I mean, it is immensely difficult to reckon with. The news is depressing, indeed, Lauren Alexander. Yeah, and that's the thing, Josh, that a lot of people on the conservative end of the spectrum need to realize, because a lot of them are like clapping like trained seals about this, like, yeah, ban those trans people from having guns. And the reality is, if they can classify trans people as a mental illness, they can classify literally any group of people as having a mental illness that need to be disarmed and treated differently by the governing laws of this country, right? Like, that's what they are testing out here. This is never something that just stops with trans people. Yeah, if they can take guns away from trans people, they're going to be doing a lot of other shit that violate your fundamental constitutional rights. This administration did say Trump derangement syndrome is a mental illness. I mean, yeah. They think that liberals are literally crazed, demon-possessed monsters. That's a not insignificant portion of, like, the Republican Party believes that. This would be my red line. If this happens, me and every trans person I know that can mobilize are leaving the country by any means. I mean, yeah, it is one of those situations where, like, if they realize that they can take away your constitutional right to guns by calling you mentally ill, it's not much more than a hop and a step away from they can deny you your medical care. You know? One of the things I find deeply frustrating. By the way, Mary Margaret Olahan is a reporter for the Daily Wire. Yeah. Quote, individuals within the DOJ are reviewing ways to ensure that mentally ill individuals suffering from gender dysphoria are unable to obtain firearms while they are unstable and unwell, one source inside the Justice Department tells me. So, you know, this is from the Daily Wire. Take it with some grains of salt. But also, basically what they're trying to say is that you can't become well by essentially detransitioning. They want to incentivize detransition so that, you know, oh, you can't buy guns until you become detrans. It is a disgusting state of affairs here for trans people in America. Oh shit, they're going to use mental health laws. That is the path forward for doing this. Yeah. They might try other ways, but like the most obvious path is mental health. It is worth noting, depressing as it is, that the first and largest book burning carried out by the Nazis was books about queer sexuality and trans issues. Absolutely. Some of the most famous images of book burnings are from that book burning. You know? I detransitioned. It's not a recipe for mental well-being, I can assure you. It is absolutely not a recipe for that. Quit being mentally ill, then we'll consider you having a firearm. Justice is coming. You wouldn't know justice if it came up to you and said hello. You wouldn't know justice if you looked across and to the table, dude. The cruelty is the point. They want to see us all suffer. I mean, it's cruelty and it's power, right? Like, oh, football desk, you are welcome to come and try and take those guns from my hands. We'll see how well that goes for you, gun or not. Of course, they didn't care about mental health and guns at all until a scary trans person did something. Yeah, it's really weird, isn't it? How the moment it became convenient for them, they abandoned all of their values. It's almost like conservatives never believed in anything other than their bigotry. It's crazy, right? Cruelty is power to these losers. I mean, that is true, right? They have no other concept of what power can be used for other than by hurting other people. You wouldn't know justice if it came in your ass? Who said that? Oh, God. Are we going to survive this? I think so. You know, we've survived everything else up to this point. They can't very well succeed. But this is, I guess, one of your formal warnings to, you know, make sure you have paperwork or your passport or get like an enhanced ID or something. Get some kind of documentation that would allow you to get the fuck out of here if you need to. And I know that's not an option for everyone, but this is like an advice on an individual level. Like, have a rough idea of what you might do if this all goes really, really poorly. We shouldn't leave, though. We shouldn't. But also, I'm saying if things get worse, like a lot worse. And I'm just saying, look, some people are going to be willing to like stay here and fight, and that's great. Other people are going to want to have like a backup to get themselves and their family out. Some people are going to want to get their kids out. Can you claim asylum without a passport? I think you just have to be in another country. If we don't all stay, we all lose? That's not true. All I'm saying is it is a good time to get that paperwork set up. Yeah, asylum is not citizenship, yada, yada, yada. I find it very depressing that this is all happening on the backdrop of attempting to conceal the history of denying Holocaust victims asylum. It's going to happen again. Yeah. Look, I'm not saying like buy a property, like make sure you're renting in the right vineyard of France. I'm just saying like have the paperwork to go ready. And the paperwork is really just the kind of ID that lets you pass into another country and the kind of passport that lets you go into another country. That's it. Any tips on how allies can help out? Go to the fucking protests. Go to your local city council meetings. You know, go make sure your city or town or state has like laws to keep trans people safe. This is why after the election, I started encouraging trans people to get out of red states and get into states with explicit legal protections on the books. Like, we're seeing a pretty bad case scenario. Maybe not worst case, but it's pretty bad. And sadly, folks, and this is the reality, in order to go and claim asylum, things have to get a lot more materially worse for trans people. Most countries don't even have the asylum system open for us because we're Americans. I would advise not making Canada a permanent home if you can help it coming here. Things are getting worse here as well, but it's safer than the US. I mean, that's kind of the thing, right? Like, if we need to go, we aren't going to be able to pick and choose and be choosy about our options. It's either Canada or Mexico. So whichever one you're closer to. And from there, if you need to go someplace else, maybe you can, but cynical me thinks it won't even matter, as you can't outrun global economic and environmental collapse. These depressing thoughts have been happening more and more as of late to me. I mean, I think it does matter in a pretty material sense to people who are being targeted by their government. Exactly, Forlorn 79. It's not like where shall I go on my vacation? Maybe I will go to the Mongolian steppe. Like, no, like we don't got options. I don't feel good. Yeah, I don't feel good either. That being said, we have to take these things one step at a time and look at what we actually have control over. I would recommend not panicking. And as I've said, go and get your passport or get your like enhanced ID, whatever kind of like identification will allow you to travel into another country. That's what you need in order to like get out if things get really bad. Nowhere is perfect and immediate safety is extremely important. Exactly, radicalize me. Like there are a lot of people who are like, oh man, things might be really bad in this other country in like 10 years. And it's like, that's 10 years later, guys. You can figure out that problem in 10 years. It's the time to go for your safety could be now, you know? And that's if things get worse here. Like we're not at like the worst case scenario where we have to leave yet. Leaving is not an option. It is an option, actually. It's an option for many people who might need to prioritize, for example, the safety of their children. Are you willing to kill your kids for your principles? Other people aren't. That's on an individual basis, people are going to have to make that choice, but they deserve to be able to make that choice, which is why you should be able to get your paperwork together now. What are you talking about killing kids? Because some trans people are children. Some trans people are kids. Trans people can be teenagers or young adults. And they're going to be hit hardest by what the regime is doing when it comes to trans people. Like, they want to start with the most vulnerable group of people, trans kids. You think the current administration is going to unalive children? They're already unaliving children. Have you seen, like, Florida's, like, vaccine ban? Like, they're already suppressing life-saving medical interventions for children. Like they are more than willing and have demonstrated a willingness to refuse medical treatment to trans kids. Like, the capacity for this to get much worse is very real. This is fear-mongering. You're just doing the work for them. Man, I don't know what to tell you. Look into what they're doing in Florida. It's not fear-mongering when the place that indicates the mainstream policy of the GOP is ending vaccines for children in schools. None of that is unaliving children. Do you know what the death rate of measles was before vaccines? Do you have any the fuck idea what you're talking about? Yeah, since when has a lack of vaccines ever hurt anyone? What's that about the Black Death? Oh, everyone was fine back then. It was only a third of Europe. It's fine. Only mass slaughter of children who got it. But it's fine, actually. Nobody brought up vaccines but you, because they're already implementing health policy with massively negative health outcomes for children. And they already have tried numerous times to outlaw medical treatment for trans kids. That kills trans kids. I don't know how much more direct I can be. If you outlaw treatment for trans people to transition, that kills people. I don't know what the fuck you're on. Do you not understand that? Like, the association I'm making here is that, hey, in Florida, the place where they test all of these policies, they're already implementing policies that massively negatively impact the lives of children. Just in general. They've already outlawed healthcare for trans kids in Florida. Kids have already died from this. No one was talking about people going door to door but you, AF Chris. Like, I'm trying to make a point that if a state is willing to massively harm the children in said state, in general, they're willing to harm a minority of children.
Right beside a graveyard.
No,
that
you may
was
not,
used between
Knifeius
the
Duck.
early 1800s to early 1900s. Half the graves were of people under 13. Vaccines probably would have saved most of them.
Yep. So the point I'm making is that a healthcare mandate from the GOP-controlled state has already gone into effect in Florida, massively decreasing the quality of life and shortening the lifespans of many of the children there. Okay? Yes. AF Chris, I'm going to make my argument. Okay? I need you to listen very carefully. The GOP controls Florida. Florida implemented a set of healthcare procedures in Florida to remove mandates around vaccines. That's something that they want to do in general. In specific, they also stripped trans children of their healthcare rights to receive transition care in Florida. On top of that, what I'm trying to make, the through line I'm trying to make here, is that the government is trying to strip trans people of the right to get health care, even if they are adults. This is something that they have already tried to do and failed to do, but they are continuing to try to do it. If they designate trans people as being mentally ill and incompetent to the point where they can subvert constitutional rights and protections to the Second Amendment, then we are talking about a world in which they can effectively strip trans people of every constitutional right. So what I'm trying to say is they do not care if trans kids die as a result of this. They do not care if trans people die as a result of this. Because when you were talking about subverting the constitutional right to like the Second Amendment, you're also talking about subverting every right that secures your liberty as a human being. Whether that is liberty of person, liberty of thought, liberty of expression, it threatens all of it the same. And what I'm trying to tell you is that some of those people who have their rights infringed are going to be children, and some of them are going to die as a result of these infringements, whether it's because they get put into some kind of camp, whether it is because they are denied health care outright and cannot transition. This is going to kill children. Whether it is the state going door to door with officers, which is unlikely, or far more likely that they are pushed to a point of suicide. And what I'm saying here is that if you are the parent of a trans child and those changes happen, I do not fault you for taking your children to get trans care in another country. Because you're leaving the country, but you're doing it to save your kids. And you are the one here being like, well, those families should stay and fight for their rights. And I'm telling you right now, if someone is leaving this country to save their child's life, I do not fault them at all. At all. And there are going to be some people who are in positions where they are going to have to consider whether or not they give their life to fight for rights in this country or not. And I do not fault anyone for saying, I don't want to die and leaving. And I don't think you get the right to demand the lives of other people's children. I don't think you get the right to demand the lives of other people in this country. If you want to stay and fight at the cost of your own life, you can make that happen. You have the ability to do that. Other people aren't going to want to make that sacrifice of their kids, of their brothers, of themselves. Other people aren't going to want to make that sacrifice, and I don't blame them. I don't think you get the right to tell people to abandon their own homes. I'm not telling people to abandon their homes. I'm telling them have the paperwork you need to flee the country if that's what you want to do. If you don't want to have the paperwork, you don't have to. If you don't want to flee the country, you don't have to. But I think every single person deserves the ability to make that choice for themselves. I didn't say everyone. All right. Gonna move right along past that one. Fighting for their rights is a nice sentiment and all that sentiment, but doesn't make that hard decision of your safety or your child's safety. Exactly. If some people might need to flee the country, other people might not. Either way, you deserve the right to make that choice. It's not complicated. I don't believe in doomer posting, but this news is very grim. So just be aware of what is happening, folks, for your own survival, and please do the work of getting the paperwork you need ready, just in case. It could help you, could help someone you know. Do the little bit of extra work. Will there be a point where it's too late, i.e. we can't leave? Well, there is a possibility of that, Queen Matriarch. But that is, again, we're talking absolute worst case scenario. We aren't close to that yet. But what I am saying is that you should get the paperwork you need ready if things become measurably worse. Yeah, exactly, Small Moth. Be prepared for the worsening situation, but don't doomer and be realistic about where we are. The paperwork does, in fact, take time. You don't just, go in and they're like, oh, cool, here's your passport. It can take a while. Similarly, if you don't feel comfortable applying for a passport, there are other forms of documentation that can get you across a border. Look into it. Think of it as an emergency bag for fires or hurricanes. You may not need it, but just have it in case. Exactly, Sweet Myths. Anyway. It's a really scary topic, and I don't blame trans people for being on edge or angry. It's an infuriating state of affairs. Did you talk about Trump wanting to seize the Federal Reserve yet? Sorry, I missed it. Hadn't heard this. Yeah, I did talk about it, Joe Anthony. The short version. The short version is that his top economic advisor is the current nominee to fill a vacancy on the Federal Reserve's Governor's Board. And that top economic advisor has announced that he's not quitting his job at the White House. So he's going to work at the White House and also be one of the governors on the Federal Reserve Board, which is effectively the Trump administration trying to backdoor and wrestle control away from the Fed. It's a particularly troubling and bad development. But I want to know who she's talking to and what actions to take. Everyone else is sub to government and GOP. Why not talk to the GOP? Why would I talk to the GOP? Why would I talk to people who want me to not exist? Why would I talk to those people? You know? And the reason I talk to people on our side is largely because I think that the people on our side are way more important. They're the ones easiest to encourage to engage with our system in a way that's largely positive for more progressive values. I want to radicalize more people on the left in order to galvanize them into action, rather than try and attempt to bash my head against a wall for years to de-radicalize, I don't know, like 5 guys named Jeff. They're all named Jeff. May Alv, I have so many fresh hells to show you guys. God damn it. All right, here we go. Well, first, folks, we've been going for about 2 hours. If you are interested in anything I've been talking about, hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, drop those subs, donos, memberships, super chats, etc., because you guys make this stream possible. I could not do it without you guys. And also, please, I have a family of 5 guys named Jeff to feed. 5 whole guys. If I don't bring home the bacon, who knows what they'll do to me? They are in charge. Why ask all the minorities for rights? Well, I'm asking people to fight alongside each other for collective change, which is exactly how democracy works. Five whole guys, chat. So anyway, subs and donos would be very appreciated. That's what I'm thinking. All the Jeffs I know are solid dudes. The Jeffs, on the other hand, oof, the Jakes. No good luck with Jakes in my life. God. Have you tried taking them to Five Guys? Yeah, but they're all unruly in my car. I've got some food for those 5 guys. Have you ever had 5 guys? Let me just take a look here. Also, Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. What was this? This actually dovetails very nicely with what I'm about to talk about. Thank you. I appreciate it, and it will be featured in the next segment. Let's see. Do 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 do. Ba-do-ba-ba-da-boo. Okay.
5 whole guys? Sounds like they could start some sort of grilling restaurant. I wonder what they could name it.
5 Jeffs. Five Jeffs. Five Jeffs Borgar. How do we fight alongside each other? Well, a great way to do that would be to attend the October 18th No King's Day protests. This is another collaborative effort by numerous different groups across the United States to collaborate on a single day of action. October 18th, No King's Day 2, baby! Time to turn out and make it even bigger than the first one. Okay? So that is one of the ways we fight back alongside each other. Struggling with the SABS? Big time? I don't know what that is. What is SABS? But I know 5051 is collaborating, Indivisible's collaborating. Bunch of different orgs are coming together. It's going to be... I know it's going to have union support. Seems like it's been a hot minute since a huge protest. Yeah, the last one was the Good Trouble protests earlier in the summer. They made less of a splash, but there was still a pretty good turnout for the protests. Get together, be safe. See you, Jimmy Pineapple. It's a lot easier for a cis person to stay and fight against this transphobia because they aren't the target. It's a lot more difficult to make that choice when you're already losing rights. There are states where it will still be safe to be trans for now. Indeed. Jeff, and Jeffrey. Jeffs! Jeffs, a Borgar for Sheila's. Oh, God. Well, cishet white guys aren't all GOP either. But the point is, we need more people to turn up to these protests. Yeah, that's very true, Sweet Myths. Depends on the cis person. As someone who's brown and has a Latin name, I don't think I will be safe, but definitely go to the protest. Booba! Protest Booba! Maybe I'll dress slutty for the protest. Socket Tanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. Appreciated.
Winter is good for protest. You get to stand around the barrel full of burning stuff.
True. My name is Jeff, layered 5 times. Hell yeah. You understand me, Astral Sea Star. Whew. Protest Booba, but I like Booba. Booba's had it too good. I'm cis, her, white, and almost 40. What? Jack will surprise everyone by pioneering the sexy Dugadoo outfit. I'm sure someone's already done a sexy Dugadoo outfit. We already have more people. They have Florida. How do we get it? Well, we need to organize more people. That's kind of the problem, right? Like, it's not enough to just have more people passively. You need to actually organize them to do something, right? And part of the problem is that up till now, the ask has been organize briefly, organize briefly to go vote. But part of the problem is we need to organize around bigger asks. Bigger asks like turn out to protests, face down police officers, organize to go to the city council meeting, organize to go to the local Democratic meeting, organize to go to the local DSA meeting, the working families meeting, the soup kitchen, the homeless shelter. We need to organize around not just turning out in the limited area of politics, but on a larger level, our society. And we need to increase our organizing capacity in places like Florida. There are people organizing in Florida, but we need more people to turn out in Florida. We need more people to turn out in these areas where the GOP has solidified their control. We need more people to organize than the billions of dollars that they have flooding into their campaigns can buy people.
We need to organize around the biggest asks. We need to get the cakes out.
We need to get caked up asks, chat. That's right. When I'm talking about caked up asks, I'm talking about the biggest asks. The just ginormous asks. I'm talking Medicaid, Medicare for all. I'm talking ending homelessness, not just in America's biggest cities, but in every city in America. I'm talking about bringing back postal banking, baby. I'm talking about mainstreaming public transit, y'all. I'm talking about free public transit, y'all. The biggest asks. I'm losing my ability to enunciate, I swear. God. Asks you can bounce dimes off of. Oh, God. This has always been our project to fight them? Damn straight it has, Tanya. I feel the dissonance of like other countries, people being able to cause problems and protest compared to the semi-apathy of resistance in America, but I think it's just a really, really huge country. Yeah, I mean, and we've been systematically like atomized, like culturally for like the last 60 years. Like the Southern strategy and like capitalism as a system have conspired together to isolate the working class of America from one another, to make us so busy just trying to make ends meet and put food on the table that we can't actually relax and like make friends with the people around us. It has been a deliberate effort to monopolize our time for the workplace and leave nothing left over for us to talk amongst ourselves and realize how utterly fucked we're being by the wealthiest people in the country. You know, this is a deliberate effort. It is a choice being made by some of the richest and most powerful people in the country, and it has led us to this. This is the end result of that weakening of the democratic spirit, that weakening of the mutual bonds that hold workers together. It's a deliberate effort, and we must fight that with everything we've got until we can reunite and kick these fuckers out of office and take back what is ours. The simple dignity of working people in this country. the ability to have time to do what you will. Like, that is our goal. That is what needs to happen. And that should be ultimately our ask. We deserve to live like human beings and not dogs. I always tell my family, who complain every day about this administration and the state of things, it's not a bug, it's a feature, the system working as intended. It's true. They don't believe me still, but one day I hope. Yeah. You may got that dog in you, but you are not that dog, indeed. You have the right to work part-time and be poor too. Yeah, I think that's shitty. You know, I think that we should maybe demand better from our society. That is not something that occurs in a vacuum without us allocating and saying that it's super important for us to allow poverty to thrive. And frankly, I think I value a society rich enough where no one is poor than a society that privileges a few elites at the expense of rendering millions destitute and poor. We're demanding money, as are the billionaires. And the billionaires are demanding more money than we are. And the issue is that they're getting it. Every system on Earth redistributes funds, redistributes wealth. Every system, every governmental system on Earth does that. And right now, our system is redistributing wealth to the richest people on the planet. And I think that's wrong. I think that that is wrong morally and ethically. I think that is wrong on every single level that is conceivable to be wrong on. And I think we need to end that practice of prioritizing an elite few at the expense of millions. Yeah, I don't know. I've just always I've just always thought it's really desperately bad that like a CEO can steal millions or hundreds of millions and get like a slap on the wrist from the government, but if somebody like shoplifts a candy bar, that's something that they can be shot down in the street for. You know? And I think that's wrong. They're destroying our lives so that they can demand money they'll never even notice. It's true. It's true. No, I think we need to fight for a better world. Not just like reform of the current world. The current world led to the world we're in right now that is destroying our rights. We need to fight and demand better. And if the proposed better world is wrong, then we must demand better than what is proposed. Would like to say I talked to an old comrade and got to brag about the 35 or so of y'all who joined DSA and the work you're doing. It's true. I'm so proud of the members in this community who have stepped up and started doing things in your local community, in DSA or your local Dems. It's actually really inspiring. But they have money so that they can get out of trials in prison. Yeah, and I think that's bullshit. I think that that our system allows for that and has that vulnerability, I think that's bullshit. And I think we need to make a world better than that. Okay. Time for us to talk about something that is incredibly infuriating that I've been stalling so that we don't talk about it. So, folks, we have to talk about the CDC and, well, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Now, if you guys haven't been paying a ton of attention to what's happening on the national level when it revolves around health policy, and that is that essentially there's been one long unmitigated attack against vaccines. Backed up by shoddy research papers, clearly written by like ChatGPT, with sources referencing studies that don't exist, not just on one, but on multiple of the studies that they are pulling out to like support some of their harebrained conclusions at the HHS that they want to use to then implement new policies, right? One of the things that has been affected by this are, for example, Florida ending vaccine mandates for all schools in the state, which is, I mean, children will die as a result of that, just as an FYI. Like, just directly, that is signing the death warrant of children. But another problem seems to also be rising here, which is that, well, people aren't vaccinating a whole host of, in a whole host of new and disturbing ways. I.e., well, if you've been told by the government that vaccines aren't effective and don't work, why would you vaccinate your dog? Why would you vaccinate your pets? And so, we've seen a pretty direct result in a rise in rabies. So, that's cool. There are now 15 likely outbreaks in multiple states across the country. Now, for the record, in case any of you are wondering about rabies, if you get rabies, that's really bad. It's likely going to kill you if you don't catch it quickly. Now, why aren't people vaccinating their pets? Let's take a look. Well, 6 deaths from rabies have been reported over the last 12 months in the United States, the highest number in years. From rabid skunks in Kentucky to gray foxes in Arizona and raccoons in Long Island, wild animals in more than a dozen places across the United States have experienced a rise in the deadly disease, at least partially driven by shrinking natural habitats and better surveillance. Now, also, let's just scroll down here a little bit because this is insane. Each year, 1.4 million Americans are checked for possible exposure to rabies, and 100,000 receive a series of vaccine injections to prevent them from becoming ill, according to the CDC. Largely because if you get rabies, you are almost certainly going to die. There's like 1 or 2 people ever who have survived rabies. It is not a high likelihood. Last month, Samantha Lang was one of them. Lang, 22, was likely bitten by a bat that flew into her apartment from a hole in her ceiling in Greenwood, Indiana. The day after she noticed tiny marks on her arm, she discovered the bat alive, hanging from her air conditioning vent. After contacting her local health department, she was urged to receive rabies post-exposure prophylaxis. She got it immediately. "I never thought I would have to worry about it," Lang said. "Oh, that is scary." That is scary. You can see, like, the 2 puncture marks. Yeah, guys, if you see, like, a red swelling and then it develops, like, an arm like this, You definitely need to go to the doctor right away, because that is some kind of infection trying to creep up your arm through your bloodstream. Yeah. The rabies virus invades the central nervous system and is almost always fatal once symptoms start. Early symptoms, which can begin after about a week or so, or up to a year after exposure, may resemble the flu and progress
When I
quickly
was a
to
kid,
confusion.
I thought rabies was HIV for raccoons.
Oh no. Thank you for the $5 dono. Confusion, paralysis, salivating, hallucinations, and difficulty swallowing, followed by death within weeks. Let's take a look here, because this is insane. Yeah. For the number of cases to go up 100%, and we're not even over this year's rabies season, that's a big deal, said Scott Lavigne, the county's health director. Lavigne suspects that the urban growth in rabies that's been encroaching on wild habitats has been an important factor for driving the spread of rabies. Okay? Now, pair that with a couple of different things here. Yeah. Worries about vaccination rate in dogs. As rabies seems to be spreading more in wildlife, veterinarians are especially worried about vaccine hesitancy spreading among pet owners, a dangerous trend that could lead to more dogs and their owners becoming infected. A 2023 study published in the journal Vaccine found in a nationally representative sample of Americans that nearly 40% believed canine vaccines were unsafe, and 37% believed the vaccines could lead their dogs to develop cognitive issues such as autism. So, yeah. So people aren't vaccinating their dogs against rabies or against anything else for that matter because they think their dogs can get autism from the vaccines. For almost 40% of dog owners in 2023. That is grim. Like, I don't know. Like, some people are just like, I would rather get rabies from my dog than look into any of the actual science around vaccines to realize this is all bullshit. It's so depressing. But like it goes further than that, right? Which is that if you're not vaccinating your dog, you're definitely not vaccinating your kids. Here's a study, an outbreak of measles in an under-vaccinated community. Published, when was this published? In Pediatrics on June 9th. Measles is readily spread to susceptible individuals, but is no longer endemic to the United States. In March 2011, measles was confirmed in a Minnesota child without travel abroad. This was the first identified patient of an outbreak. An investigation was initiated to determine the source, prevent transmission, and examine measles, mumps, rubella, MMR vaccine coverage in the affected community. Investigation and response included case-patient follow-up, post-exposure prophylaxis, voluntary isolation and quarantine, and early MMR vaccine for non-immune shelter residents over 6 months and under 12 months of age. Vaccine coverage was assessed by using let's see. 21 measles cases were identified. Yeah, the source was a 30-month-old U.S.-born child of Somali descent infected while visiting Kenya. Measles spread in several settings, and over 3,000 individuals were exposed. 16 case patients were unvaccinated. 9 of the 16 were age eligible, 7 of the 9 had safety concerns, and 6 were of Somali descent. MMR vaccine coverage among Somali children declined significantly from 2004 through 2010, starting at 91.1% in 2004 and reaching 54.0% in 2010. This was the largest measles outbreak in Minnesota in 20 years, and aggressive response likely prevented additional transmission. Measles outbreaks can occur if under-vaccinated subpopulations exist. And so, like, this is what we're talking about. Like, when we are now getting to a point where we have vast swaths of the country opting to not vax their kids against measles, mumps, or rubella, we start to see those outbreaks. And people forget that those diseases are deadly to children. Your kids die if they get those. There is a non-zero chance that your kid could die if they get the measles. That's bad. It is bad that they are choosing to endanger children. And of course, the wide proliferation can then put other children who have been vaccinated at risk, because vaccination isn't the 100% guarantee. Just vastly decreases the likelihood that you are going to get infected. It doesn't eliminate it. So it really is just, people are worried about their dogs getting autism, because heaven forbid autism exists in a community. Like, these people literally get up every day and say with their whole chest that they would rather have, like, a dead child than, like, potentially an autistic one. And vaccines don't even cause autism. It's so hateful. It's ridiculous. What's next? Polio? Oh boy.
Have you seen a dog around food? They definitely have neurodivergence as a standard stat.
Sake Zanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. Not getting polio is woke. Do you fear the iron lung? Cowards. But a dog vaccination isn't going to help if you're not vaccinated and get measles. I don't understand what those two have to do with each other. Like, the point of covering those two stories together is that some people are so hesitant to use vaccines that they won't even get their dogs vaccinated, let alone themselves or their children. It's the hesitancy around vaccines that was the common thread there, not the vaccination itself. It is your patriotic duty as an American to contract the black lung. Indeed. I feel like there is a battle of narratives and hegemony that is affecting people's mindsets. Yeah, that's literally politics. You are describing politics. God. So they're idiots, I guess. We are all mad at them for being stupid. What do we do? Yeah, we reinstate like vaccine mandates for public schools. Yeah. We implement a Medicare for all situation. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I would fight for my right for my children to be able to go to school and not get infected by the measles. Like, your child shouldn't have to run through a gauntlet of life-threatening illnesses just to get a basic public education. I don't know. Like, I think that that's a reasonable thing to fight for. RFK is the horseman in white, yeah. Oh, God. All right, folks, if you've been enjoying the show, we've been going for over 2 hours. Hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button. Consider dropping those subs, donos, memberships, super chats, etc. because, folks, I die without them. Yeah, ha ha. Is RFK Jr. the Great Satan? No. Don't sell the other one short. He is merely a Great Satan. Hydrate? Fine. Ear Ascended Kitten, thank you for the $10 dono. I very, very much appreciate that. Y'all! Also, let me refresh here. Do. Okay.
Like, comment, survive.
Damn it, that's good. Damn it, Sake Tanuki, you son of a bitch, you've done it again. Hydrate, Jack, or you might make us think you have rabies. Indeed. My babbling is not an indicator of me having rabies, however. That's just my natural state. The most common transmission of rabies to humans is through domesticated dogs that are unvaccinated. Yup. We all know what that's like. We've watched / seen To Kill a Mockingbird. Six people die a year but want to make every single child in Florida get it? No, I want every single child in Florida to get the vaccines for the commonly circulated illnesses of measles, mumps, and rubella. You know, the common mandates that every public school in the nation has to ensure that we don't have a mass pandemic that's completely avoidable. You know, I want the kind of vaccination that helped us eliminate polio and, you know, smallpox. They already do get the MMR? No, they don't, because they just repealed Florida's mandate on vaccines in public schools. That has already happened. Rabies deaths are only so low in states because of our infrastructure, like the CDC, vaccines, and animal control. There are literally thousands of rabies deaths a year in India. True. We are proactive in keeping rabies from circulating throughout the human ecosystem here. And we've done a really good job, to the point where people don't need to worry about seeing a rabies-infected dog wandering down the street and have Atticus Finch roll up like a mensch. Yeah, we eliminated polio and smallpox. Exactly! Via vaccination! That's why I'm saying we need vaccine mandates to eliminate more of those potential pandemic illnesses. Yes! Polio was eradicated in the United States thanks to vaccination, especially of school children. Almost as if vaccines work. Almost. It's almost like we live in that kind of a world, based on only on the data available. And if I recall, it was not optional. The government used force when necessary to compel people to get it. Yes, it did. Smallpox vaccines and the polio vaccine were absolutely mandated. It is why they are eliminated from public health at this point in time in the United States. It's not mandated anymore because we eliminated it from the general population. People in the United States still do get polio sometimes, but it's extraordinarily rare. Similarly, we should do the same with measles. Everyone get measles vaccine, eliminate measles. Yeah, I agree. Anytime we get a vaccine, everyone get vaccine, eliminate the disease. Let's go. My religious freedoms. Indeed. All right, can we're going to talk about something that makes me just viscerally angry, and you all are going to have to deal with that. You all ready? You all ready? Also, chat. There is a dono goal today, but I'm not revealing to you what it is until we get more subs. Let's go. So, folks, we are on the verge of another government shutdown extravaganza, i.e., it's one of the rare occasions where the Senate Democrats get to exert some power and make demands of the Trump administration. That's right, folks. That's right. It's time for our leadership in the Democratic Party to show what they've got and to lead us to victory. That's right. Chuck Schumer is stepping up to the plate, and he's ready to knock it out of the park once again with his keen negotiating skills and his incredible talent for realpolitik. Except that it's Chuck Schumer. So, even relatively middle of the road Dems and commentators in the press are calling it absolute and complete bullshit. Josh Marshall over at Talking Points Memo did a great job today talking about this because it's just bullshit. Essentially, to break down what the plan being put forward here by Chuck Schumer and the Dems in the Senate, one might think, well, they have leverage, right? So what could they do with that leverage? Well, they could force the government to shut down, effectively stymieing the president's agenda for an undefined amount of time until the Republicans decide to capitulate to Democratic demands. That is, in fact, one hell of a piece of leverage, actually. And what are Chuck Schumer's demands? Are they restoring Medicaid funding? Are they, ending the tariff regime? Are they, I don't know, instituting a universal basic income or preventing the National Guard from being mobilized to occupy U.S. cities? Or an end to ICE and the ICE detention facilities that are being built? No. None of that is what's happening. Instead, the proposed plan is essentially that elected leadership under Chuck Schumer is going to go out there and make the argument that, well, we only have one thing that you guys need to capitulate to us on, and it's to extend Obamacare funding and subsidies until after 2026, and then you can let them expire. That's it. That is the one ask. What effect this would have is essentially that it would soften the blow to people who are receiving plans on the state markets for healthcare, the state marketplaces that were put in place by Obamacare. It would basically prevent the costs from suddenly skyrocketing as we go into next year. But that is a pretty weak ask. That is, and not only that, it's not fighting to maintain them along with everything else. It is just to maintain them through the midterms so that no one gets, no one affected by these healthcare premium or healthcare monthly payment price hikes gets too hurt in the next year and a half. That's it. That is what actually they are going for. And I think it might be time to do another call-in stream where people call in to Chuck Schumer or call in to their their senators, because I think we need to exert pressure to let people in Congress know, and in the Senate specifically know, that this is horse shit. Like, Chuck Schumer kicked the can down the road here, and this is absolute bullshit.
I hope Charles in charge consulted the Baileys for hours on this.
Oh, I'm sure he did. You know, he went to his little dream world cabin and visited the Baileys and was just like, well, you two are my best invisible friends, and I can't imagine having a life without either of you. I know this is kind of a weird throuple situation, but, I feel really close to you guys, and I really needed this. He takes a long drink of whiskey. The Baileys? What? Oh, in case you guys are missing, are you doing a Peterson? I'm doing a Chuck Schumer. In my head, he sounds like Jordan Peterson. The Baileys are an imaginary couple that Chuck Schumer invented like 15 years ago as a stand-in for his voters. Instead of actually talking with his constituents, he just made up the Baileys as like an imaginary family that lives in his district that he imagines agreeing with him all the time. It's very weird and bizarre. They are his literal imaginary friends. He has an entire like backstory for them and like different life happenings for them all the time. And it's weird, and I can't believe this loser controls Democrats in the Senate. And so I just want all of you to know, I think it's time for new leadership in the Senate. I think that we need to get this guy who invents voters instead of talking to them, we need to get him out of leadership. We need to call our senators and put a stop to this shit. Because this is insane. Is this real? WPG Squirrel, it is very real. He's talked about them in interviews for years. He wrote about them in his book. He's been actually asked multiple interview questions about the goddamn Baileys. So this is just going to make Republicans look like they're compromising with Democrats if they go with it, resulting in them looking reasonable to voters before 2026? Yes, exactly, Jenna Sparks. Like, this is bad politics. It doesn't galvanize Republicans to, like, stay out of the race or not vote. Instead, it encourages them to see the Republican Party as normal, as, like, having reasonable demands. And, like, the reality is everything in this bill is insane. It is insane. It is an insane bill pushed by insane people who are disconnected from reality. Okay? And like they are going to come across as reasonable in Republican circles. And not only that, it's going to eliminate some of the pain that some of the most likely voters feel around the 2026 midterms. It drains wind from the sails of the Democratic effort in 2026. And instead, it gets nothing from the biggest point of leverage we're going to have. Absolutely nothing. And, like, this is something where I'm sure Democratic leadership is talking amongst themselves and being like, well, see, our voters will think we are geniuses. We've saved them so much money. We get to run on how much money we saved them in the 2026 midterms. Harumph, isn't that good? Harumph, harumph. And, like, they're so out of touch. They do not realize that the vast majority of the Democratic Party is paying attention to this, and they see it for the bullshit it is. All of these people are just isolated and out of touch, and they need to go yesterday. Yesterday. They need to be gone. He's going to fuck us all again? Yes, Chuck Schumer is going to fuck us all again. I'm terrified about pre-existing conditions coming back. Yeah. What happens when politicians don't talk to their constituents? Indeed. We did it, Chuck. We saved America. They're not out of touch. They want this. No, I think that in some of these cases they think they're playing good politics. I think that some of these people have been convinced by the pundit class, not the pundit class, but like the consultant class, the consultants that they hang out with. I think they've been convinced that the solid, safe political move for their career is to sit back and do nothing. Whether it's because they're going to get a cushy lobbying job or it's because they are, they
So
think it's
pissy
good
and
politics, it
angry
doesn't
about
matter.
These Dems being more weak, soft, and smooth-brained than me, that I'm gonna drink a gallon of man milk in protest.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Man milk? Was that brought by the milkman? Thank you for the $5 dono, Alexa Crab. I do appreciate the support. I think that establishment Dems care about keeping their positions, and they think it's good politics to do nothing and allow the Trump administration to constantly fuck up. I think they think that that is sufficient in this time for them to keep their power and take it back in 2026, and they're wrong. They're just fucking wrong. Is he even going to invent an excuse this time? The last time the excuse was so idiotic. I mean, he'll try. He'll try. But it's just insane. It's just insanity. There's not really any way to cut it. It's the 2016 Hillary strategy all over again. I mean, yeah, it kind of is, right? Like, it's the same strategy that different Washington consultants have been pushing for years. Like, what's his face? The guy who's bald and old as hell. You know the guy. He sounds like Foghorn Leghorn. James Carville. Thank you, Crypt Keeper Dan. I appreciate it. It's just so infuriating, the time we live in. Ugh. I don't know that guy. You look. Look, if you don't know him by name, you've definitely seen him before, because he looks like a scary extra in an Indiana Jones movie who's gonna like have his face burned off by the end of the film. Okay? Look, you've definitely seen this man if you pay any attention at all to politics. You might not know his name, but you've definitely seen him at least once. Oh, indeed. He looks like he wants to show me short horror stories on late night HBO in the 90s. He does look like that. Also, well, here.
He's a scared old man, and you can just see it. And his rambling and incoherent shit, and he's at 71% approval in the polls. He does not care. He doesn't care. The Supreme Court doesn't care.
Yeah, anyway, that's James Carville right there. He doesn't care. Anyway, this is the time we live in, and I feel like I'm on crazy pills. Did we do RFK yet? I mean, we've talked about RFK a bit. Dono Ghost song? We need more donos. I'm not just going to randomly play the Dono Ghost song. Also, folks, I'm looking at the stream here. I'm looking at the raw numbers. And I can't help but notice that there's over 300 people watching on YouTube and only 160 some likes. That's Child's Play likes. Hit the like button. Hit the goddamn like button, you fools. That's right, I'm seeing a few more pop up, but I think you guys can hit 200 easy. I think you guys can hit 200 easy. Click that butt. That's right, folks. You heard it here first. Click the butt. Ba-ba-ba. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the button. Click the goddamn button. Click Hell yeah! Thank you. You guys have gotten over 200 likes. I knew you guys had it in you. Thank you for clicking that like button, folks. Jack, if I had $50, I'd give it to you. I was the first like on stream. Please play the Dono Ghost song. The Dono Ghost only shows up for donos. I'm sorry. But you did get the click butt song. What about the Dono Ghost song? I would have to find it. I'm sure it's here somewhere. But also, gotta drop some donos for the Dono Ghost song. Small Moth, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships over on YouTube. Look at you go! Thank you very, very much. Tell you what, if we get 4 more subs, I will play the Dono Ghost song. Okay? Subs or donos or memberships, etc. Have we looked at RFK's mini trial? We have not, because we have a lot of things to talk about. What if you say Dono Ghost 3 times? Try it. Maybe you'll be able to try again. Maybe. I can make the Dono Ghost available, the Dono Ghost song available. It just takes time. A Clark Vibe, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. That's 3 more, chat. Please, everyone, the Dono Ghost song is so lit. It's true. Jazz Dog, do be jazzin'. Also, I want to reach out to Jazz Dog and get like like an outro song that plays for the segments that I put up on YouTube. I think that'd be cute. Like kind of a chill, like Jazz Dog sailing down the river song. I don't know. I think it'd be great. Dugadoo, appreciate the vocal stems and earworms you've given me. You're welcome, Von 400. Love your streams. Thank you, a Clark Vibe. I do my best. Tired of the jackrap? Tired of the jackrap? No, I'm not tired of the jackrap. It's just I like to start streams with that, and the vibes are kind of stream starty, as opposed to like segment endy. Jazz Dog is always great. I agree. The jazziest dog we all know. Oh. Wait, what was this? The song's almost done. Socialism indeed, Jazz Dog. Socialism indeed. Oh, God. Okay. Ah, hell yeah. Cool. Excellent. Okay. You guys ready for another segment? All right, Jack, moving on now. Indeed. Okay. Here we go. Prepping all the segments for us to go over. And here we go. Sorry if you already saw, but I had to run away mid-segment, so I didn't see if you saw my much earlier message about your stew recipe that I posted in the Emers chat in Discord. I hope it's handy. I did see it. I didn't fully read it, but I'll go back and read it. Thank you, though. Okay, here we go. Here we go, folks. So, folks, we gotta talk about Jeffrey Epstein. you know, that guy who's best friends with the current president of the United States. Anyway, despite the fact that there have now been months of hearings about this, there have been victims coming forward and talking about it. There have been that there's like a convicted pedophile who has been moved around our prison system and is now like has a status that enables her inexplicably to leave prison despite having a prison sentence handed down by a jury of her peers that keeps her behind bars for like a decade. And all of this is inexplicable. But according to Donald Trump, it's very easy. It's very easy to understand. It's very easy to understand. Here's the issue.
There have been survivors of Jeffrey Epstein speaking at a press conference on Capitol Hill. They're calling for these case files, these documents to be released. And Thomas Massey, who was sponsoring a discharge position to get the House to vote on releasing those documents, says he doesn't believe you're implicated in these files, but many of your friends and donors may be, and he says that's why the Justice Department is redacting them and slow-walking the release. Is the Justice Department protecting any friends or donors, sir?
So this is a Democrat hoax that never ends. You know, it reminds me a little of the Kennedy situation. We gave him everything over and over again, more and more and more, and nobody's ever satisfied. From what I understand, I could check, but from what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given. But it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something
that thousands and thousands of pages have been given, but it's all a hoax is a hell of a line.
That's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president.
Also, you know, when Donald Trump tries to like deflect like that, you know, it comes across very clumsy, of course, but like, you know, it's because he's uncomfortable about it.
Even if you look at D.C. right now, D.C.
It's all deflection. He does not want to talk about this issue at all. Like, he's still skittish about it, and it's ridiculous. But also, we have to talk about some new developments. This is from as of 8 hours ago on this case. Axios reporting hidden camera catches DOJ aide lured by dating app. Just incredible stuff. The acting deputy chief of a Justice Department unit said on hidden camera that the government will, quote, redact every Republican, unquote, from an Epstein client list. He later admitted he was basing his comments on media reports. But the O'Keefe Media Group, a far-right media organization, secretly recorded Joseph Schnitt's comments and published them on Thursday. Which, like, oh great, James O'Keefe is still running around doing his little shits and giggles. So, should we trust this? Maybe, but also maybe not. You know, we'll see. Schnitt had no idea he was being recorded on video when he met the O'Keefe reporter, who he said was pretending to be an au pair on the dating app Hinge. The comments I made were my own personal comments on what I've learned in the media, not from anything I've done or learned via work. And like, I don't know, it seems like maybe you as somebody who works as one of the people who reports to the DOJ acting director, maybe you know more than that, actually. Yes, this came from the Project Veritas freaks. James O'Keefe. He's the guy who founded Project Veritas. He also got kicked out of it. So this is actually from the freaks who are too freaky for Project Veritas, right? And I do have to say, that's a weird move. I think it might indicate a repositioning on James O'Keefe's account in order to try and stay ahead of where the wind might blow here. Lady Domina.
You're doing amazing work, Jack. BWA.
Thank you for the BWA energy and the tier 3 sub. Very, very kind of you. Also, I see you received your Imogene Olivia, and I'm really, really glad that you find it so comfortable and sexy. That is the goal of Imogene Olivia lingerie. Gender euphoric lingerie, regardless of how your body might be made. And I think my partner did a fantastic job designing something that fits like that. I think it fulfills its promise. Now, that being said, the DOJ told Axios this comment refers to all comments in the video, but would not confirm whether they were referring to both O'Keefe's and Schnitt's words. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think that this is interesting. It's not exactly groundbreaking, but it does indicate that the DOJ is aware of what's happening, obviously. And Trump is still trying to say it's a hoax, but clearly official things are in the works from the DOJ on this. We know that earlier this year, the FBI was mobilized in order to go through files and assemble information on this. But it's all a hoax. Or it's a hoax and they're going to release more information periodically after that information has been reviewed and maybe lightly edited for clarity. I'm just saying a lot of this shit is weird, and I don't trust the government to assemble this list. I feel like they have so much incentive to lie, it's ridiculous. And I want to throw this out there. I wanted to play a bit of this, not all of it, but NBC assembled a number of Epstein and Maxwell survivors and members of their families to talk about what happened here.
Tonight, as you can see, just really within the last couple of hours, I sat down exclusively with the biggest group of survivors and their family members brought together at the same time. Some of these people had never met each other before, including a woman who has never before come forward to share her story about the abuse she says she faced at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein. I want to play for you now my conversation with these individuals you're hearing for the very first time right here on NBC News Now. A show of hands here, if you or somebody you love was abused or trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell. All of you. So given that, you are here together, the 9 of you in this room, in this, what feels like a show of solidarity. Why? Why did you decide to come here today? Jess?
I'm coming here because there's been a severe miscarriage of justice, a delay in accountability, and we've all come together beautifully and tragically, which feels healing and devastating all at the same time, to speak out and to be fueled by each other's voices in a way that I don't know that we've had the opportunity to in the past.
Mm-hmm. Beautifully said. Yeah. I'm here for the same reasons, but for me, the most important thing is accountability. My whole mission is to get somebody, or the majority of the people, to be held accountable for what they did and what we've all been suffering through for the last, 15, 20 years.
Marika, you're somebody who has spoken publicly about your experience before. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to you to be sitting alongside 8 other people in telling your story and in being here?
Today, I didn't think I would be here 6 years later from when I was here in 2019. I guess I'd just like to say that, I'm sorry, it's always a bit nerve-wracking to speak on camera like this, but I just want to say that the government has failed us. Maria Farmer reported this in 1996, and now there's a pending lawsuit where hopefully there will be some accountability.
Yeah.
And I would encourage all of you to go watch this whole thing. I wanted to play just a brief snippet here to like demonstrate that, hey, a bunch of these victims have been organizing behind the scenes for years, usually with one another, to have some degree of solidarity and like have, you know, be able to like support each other. Some of these people came together in particularly in response to a summons from Congress in order to talk about their experiences with Jeffrey Epstein, and in the process of that, it brought a bunch of these survivors together, and that is how they then put together a large event with members of Congress. And we're also gonna watch some of this, but Ro Khanna is here speaking, a number of different members of Congress, Thomas Massie, prominent Republican, Marjorie Taylor Greene here. Because again, some of these people, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're too deep into the conspiratorial end of these things to like write off what these victims are doing by coming together.
So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And please protect these women while we seek transparency.
Good morning. My name is Anushka DeGiorgio, and I stand before you today as a survivor of both Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell.
I'm gonna turn this up.
I want to thank Congressman Massie and Khanna for their role in putting together this very, very important bill. Every day of this journey toward healing has come at a profound cost to my mental health. But I am here. I chose to come because this bill really matters. I speak today not only in service of my own recovery from trauma inflicted by Maxwell and Epstein, but to honor the lives, the courage and sacrifices of Virginia Giuffre, Caroline Andriano, and others who could not continue. Their voices mattered. Their stories must not be forgotten. Accountability is what makes a society civilized. Equal opportunity and equal consequence for all. Consequences are not about punishment alone. They exist to deter future harm, to protect vulnerable, and to set a standard of justice. If Ghislaine Maxwell were pardoned, it would undermine all the sacrifices I made to testify and make mockery of mine and all survivors' suffering. That is why the Epstein Files Transparency Act is so essential. It requires the Department of Justice release all the records related to Epstein and Maxwell investigations, flight logs, immunity deals, internal communications, and even the records surrounding Epstein's detention and death. And crucially, it forbids withholding documents simply because of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. This is about ending secrecy wherever abuse of power takes root. But transparency alone is not enough. Survivors need protection, resources, and legal support. If this Congress is serious about...
Yeah, and this is a very important point to add there, because every single one of the women who has gone public against what happened to them at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell, like, every single one of them, right, has been attacked and harassed mercilessly. Some of them have had to flee their homes. Some of them have taken their own lives as a result of the harassment. Like, the amount of courage it takes to come forward, especially now, when it seemingly puts them in opposition to the President of the United States. That's that is quite a bit of courage. Every single one of these people is brave beyond measure.
About justice, then let this moment also affirm your commitment to provide victims with the legal aid they need to confront abusers, to navigate complex systems, and to reclaim their power. Transparency must be matched by support, or else too many victims will remain silent out of fear and lack of access. The statistics demand action. Nearly 1 in 5 women in America will experience rape or attempted rape in her lifetime. Every 74 seconds, someone is sexually assaulted. Every 9 minutes, that person is a child. These are not numbers, they are people. They are your daughters, your sons, your constituents, your friends. Statistically, 1 in 5 of your families will face this nightmare. The days of sweeping this under the rug are over. We, the survivors, say no more. I want to help create a world where survivors of sexual abuse and abuse of power can come forward safely. And I ask Congress to join me in that effort, not only by passing this bill, but by ensuring that those who step forward have legal support to face their abusers and see justice done. When Judge Berman gave Epstein survivors the chance to finally speak, the world listened. After so many years, survivors were heard. That moment was historic, and so is this moment. For me, the turning point was when I had my daughter, and on the day she was born, I knew I had a responsibility to protect her and to protect all children. I have to use my voice, the voice that had been silenced by fear and shame for so many years. Make no mistake, my polished exterior is a shield hiding a wound that still bleeds. But through this wound, I have found purpose. To be part of lasting change in how we confront exploitation and abuse. And to be clear, the only motive for opposing this bill would be to conceal wrongdoing. You have a choice. Stand with the truth, or with the lies that have protected predators for decades. I am no longer weak. I am no longer powerless. And I'm no longer alone. And with your vote, neither will the next generation be. President Trump, you have so much influence and power in this situation. Please use that influence and power to help us, because we need it now and this country needs it now. Thank you.
And I think it's good there in that speech to directly pose the question, hey, Donald Trump, if you aren't using your power to release the Epstein files, why not? I think it's a fair question. And I think she answered that question to cover up wrongdoing. If he can't bring himself to sign something like this, it's just a further confirmation of what we already know. You know? This press conference was pretty incredible. I think this was her.
Very powerful and special day for all of us here. My name is Marina Lacerda. I was minor victim 1 in federal indictment of Jeffrey Epstein in New York in 2019. I was one of dozens of girls that I personally know who were forced into Jeffrey's mansion on 9 East 71 Street in New York City when we were just kids. Today is the first time that I ever speak publicly about what happened to me. I never thought that I would find myself here. The only reason that I am here is because it feels like the people who matter in this country finally care about what we have to say. As an immigrant from Brazil, I feel empowered knowing that the little girl struggling to get by at 14 and 15 years old finally has a voice. For the first time, I feel like I matter as an American. I was only 14 years old when I met Jeffrey. It was the summer of high school. I was working 3 jobs to try to support my mom and my sister when a friend of mine in the neighborhood told me that I could make $300 to give an older guy a massage. It went from a dream job to the worst nightmare. Jeffrey assistant Leslie Groff would call me and tell me that I needed to be at the house so often that I ended up dropping out of high school before 9th grade. And I never went back. From 14 to 17 years old, I went and worked for Jeffrey instead of receiving an education. Every day I hoped that he would offer me a real job as one of his assistants or something important. I would finally have made it big, as, like we say, the American dream. That day never came. I had no way out. I was, until he finally told me that I was too old. There are many pieces of my story that I can't remember, no matter how hard I try. The constant state of wonder causes me so much fear and so much confusion. My therapist says that my brain is just trying to protect itself, but it's so hard to begin to heal knowing that there are people out there who know more about my abuse than I do. The worst part is that the government is still in possession right now of the documents and information about that could help me remember and get over all of this maybe and help me heal. They have documents with my name on them that were confiscated from Jeffrey Epstein's house and could help me put the pieces of my own life back together. But I don't have any of it. And I know the same is true for many of these women. We are here to support this bill today, not only for transparency, but for the American people. But if the government is going to release these documents to the public, describing the crimes committed by Jeffrey Epstein and others, the least that they can do is give me my documents that they have about me. The other survivors deserve the same respect from our government. While identifying information must be redacted to the public, it is equally important to provide the victims themselves with unredacted information. I will never forget when the FBI agent showed up in my door in 2008. Jeffrey Epstein hired a lawyer to represent me, or more like to represent him, I like to say. I couldn't ask any questions, and I had no idea what was going on. I was terrified. Until today, I think most of us are still terrified. I thought somebody was going to kill me. I thought something was going to happen to my sister or my mother. It went further out to even maybe thinking something would happen in Brazil with my family. And then one day, the lawyer said that everything was just going to go away, like nothing happened. I didn't need to testify. When I asked him why, he gave no explanation. That was it. So why? Why was I never called to testify then? We could have saved so many women. We could have saved so many lives from being abused. Why did he get away with it in 2008? Why was he able to go on in the abuse with hundreds of girls after the Florida investigation? Why didn't they let me testify to help stop him? Our government could have saved so many women, but Jeffrey Epstein was too important and those women didn't matter.